Yo, what is up everyone? This is OJ over here from PlayerEssence and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch news video. Today we've got a bunch of great topics for you, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We've got some more news on Shovel Knight. First, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove and Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment will launch first on the Nintendo Switch during the system's launch window for $24.99 and $9.99 respectively. That would indicate today's earlier news of an April launch applies to the Wii U and 3DS instead of the Nintendo Switch. Spectre of Torment and Shovel Knight Co-op will be playable on Switch for the first time at PAX South later this month. And Yachtclo Games is also announcing today that Shovel Knight Sound Test Mode is on the way. It'll come to all versions of the game as a free update. So, of course, Shovel Knight is one of the big indie hits of the last year or so. I think it's a fantastic game, and they're packing in a ton of content. They're putting it in the launch window release. So I think this is actually a really important thing for the Nintendo Switch to get this type of quality game. Even though it is an indie game, this game is big pretty much on all of Nintendo's platforms, and it'd be really cool to have that out as soon as possible. So it seems like it is going to be in the launch window. I would probably estimate the end of March is when we'll see this game. And just as a little side note as well, Graceful Explosion Machine has also been announced for the Switch, and it's planned for a launch window. They did provide the following overview of the game, and it says that Graceful Explosion Machine fits perfectly as a premier indie game in our launch window lineup. It reflects the diversity and breadth of the kinds of top-notch games we're looking for on the Nintendo Switch system. Just so you know a little bit more about the game itself, it lets you skillfully pilot an advanced Graceful Explosion Machine GEM fighter while blasting swarms of crystalline enemies with your ludicrously overpowered quad weapon array. Lost in deep space, you'll shoot, dash, and combo your way through jewel-hued alien worlds, fighting to find a way home. Another indie game, another game planned for the launch window, so the more games, obviously, the better. Next, we have some news on the December 26th NPD. The NES Classic Edition sold 223,000 units in the United States. So those sales were actually up from the 196,000 units it sold in the United States for November, and that hardware was a strong month, of course, for December. The NPD is tracking it. Sales rose by 14%. The sales should kind of stall off just a little bit just because it's not really out there. The NES Classic Edition has been pretty much sold out everywhere, and people are scalping it online for crazy prices. But Reggie Fils-Aimé did say that they are going to get more stock and supply that throughout the year. So if you want one, just be patient and get one when they're available, like I'm doing. And also another thing is that Pokemon Sun and Moon has actually crossed 4 million units sold. It's one of the fastest selling games Nintendo's ever released as far as in the Americas sales wise. Pokemon Sun and Moon is crazy. I think the game overall has sold more than 7 million units worldwide easily. I think it might be even over 8 million. But yeah, that game is crazy. It's going to sell a lot, and that's why Nintendo's not announcing Pokemon Stars at this point or anything Pokemon, because they would cut into the sales of Pokemon on the Nintendo 3DS. So they're going to ride that one out as far as the sales, and I think we might see something maybe in May or so. Might be a Pokemon Nintendo Direct, maybe even beforehand, who knows. But I do know they want to ride that Pokemon wave out because it's selling insane amounts across the world right now. And lastly, this is some good news, especially if you're planning on attending Genesis 4. So Genesis 4 is one of the premier Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments out there. It's big in the fighting game scene. And yo, guess what's going to be there? Nintendo's newest fighting game, ARMS, will be making an appearance this weekend. So ARMS will be making the appearance at Genesis 4, a Smash Bros. Tournament happening this weekend that is being held in San Jose, California, and is being officially sponsored by Nintendo. It is unknown how much of ARMS will be featured, but it looks like it might be pretty much like the demo that we saw the other people playing. I'm really excited personally to see how many characters there are, how the online works, what they're going to do, like if there's a story mode. I want to see the rest of the game. This is made by the Mario Kart developers, so I think this is actually going to be really good. I'm getting more and more excited about this game the more that I see it. And if you look at the graphical style, it definitely has that Mario Kart style to it. It has that Mario Kart style and vibe and the 60 frames per second. And just the cleanness of the graphics, it really does look like a game developed by the Mario Kart dudes, just in a completely different genre. I also think it's really smart marketing this game and showing it off to the fighting game community for the Smash Bros players. If they start picking it up and playing it and streaming it, obviously that's going to mean better sales for Nintendo going forward. So strategically picking this tournament in general for your sponsorship and bringing this game was a really smart move on Nintendo's part. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips and tricks, and everything in gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace!